Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to deliver to you the next Industry 5.0 keynote. This time we will look at the position of power industry within the age of Industry 5.0. My name is Michael Rada, I'm human, and I'm the founder of Industry 5.0. Before we start, let's talk a little bit about the background of Industry 5.0. Industry 5.0 is based on the principles of industrial upcycling, which is the first existing systematic waste prevention methodology applicable for industries. Industry 5.0 and industrial upcycling together has prevented already over 1 million metric tons of products and material becoming waste because they are working systematically with on-the-ground minds. It is not the fifth industrial revolution, but the first industrial evolution ever, led by man, by human, and it's based on principles of systematic waste prevention. And waste is understood in four categories. It is the physical, social, urban, and process waste. If we know what is Industry 5.0, let's talk about power industry. It is interesting because despite the fact that people use a power, for example, the power of heating, power of fire, long time ago, the power industry started in the reality in 1882 with the first power station which generated electricity. And the electricity was the first who needs the transmission, distribution from the source to the public and to the industry. Before electricity, there was a fire, there was steam, there was water, and there was the wind in a small-scale installations. So we need firewood, coal, gas, and water again to power it. But originally, it was enough to do it locally, but after electricity introduced, we have to do it globally or nationwide. This is why new regulation, network technology, rules has to be set up. And with those is coming waste. So what is the relationship between power industry and waste? It's quite a close one. Because firstly, you have to dig the resources out of the earth to generate the power. You have to consume them. You have to produce product surplus. And did you know, for example, that during the transmission, 8 to 15% get lost? And even worse, during the power distribution, up to 50% of the electricity get lost on the way. 16.6% goes only because of the commercial. There is a lot of waste. And it's not only the waste extraction, but a lot of process waste, a lot of social waste as well, so as the urban waste is being generated. Did you know, for example, that globally there is installed more than 5.5 millions of circuit kilometers? And that only in 2018 has been 450,000 HV towers and monopoles installed, but 63 million utility poles worldwide. What is the reality? We are living on a planet together with 7.7 billion people. This is a number many people know. But very few knows that 1812 there was the first global counting in which they came to 1 billion people. 100 years later, 1912, they came to 1.5 billion. And we have been able in 100 years, despite of 2 world wars and more than 650 war conflicts all around the globe, to increase the population by 5 times. And in 2050, it should be 11 billion people living on the planet. On a planet which looked once like a blue marble, but last year it was more gray because of the environmental damage. On a planet around which we have created a landfill with 170 million pieces of space debris, pieces smaller than 10 centimeters, but Additionally, 650 of 10 to 30 centimeters, and about 80,000 above 30 centimeters. On the same planet in which our industries dig inside in a search for more. This is the only criteria of success, is more, no matter what. We look for more. On the same planet on which in 1927 only one coal power station was working in London. Same planet which carry currently 2,425 coal-fired power stations, creating a huge environmental damage together with the rest. Same planet which carry currently 440 nuclear power stations, from which until 2030, 297 should be closed again. And this is the consumption of electricity. Darker means more consumption. And the map is going darker and darker every single day. Of course, we have a new power, which calls renewable, despite the fact that we use fire 7,000 years ago to heat us up. And this is the dividing between different types of power generation. What changed since then is the size and the prior, which is the transformation of power into electricity. And have you recognized that the new power used the old ways to be delivered? Localization is the new economy. So let's generate the power globally, same as we did long time ago. Decentralize. Use local for global to protect the global network. And instead of power generation, we look more for power storage. But we don't see anything how to harmonize or how to produce on demand. There are many predictions done. Do you know that this indicates the power generation only from one source? Waste to energy, burning our waste. This is the situation in China in coal production or coal consumption for power generation. And this is the wind generation, global one. You see the numbers? How will look like the power industry in the age of Industry 5.0? First of all, get rid out of the single-use network, which is currently existing and being expanded. It has to have more functions than only one. We have to start with deep planning and harmonization of production and consumption. Again, it's missing. We should increase the coverage with as limited funding as possible. So we have to use shared economy. We should decrease our dependency on dirty fuels, and we should generate dependency on single source. We should balance the system, and we should create new from existing. And end of life systematic utilization for everything we have. How does the power and lockdown looks like? During the lockdown, the power consumption dropped significantly because many of the factories simply stopped their operations. This is how the energy mix is being seen in Europe. This is how it looks like in India. And this is how globally the power consumption dropped during the lockdown, 2020 lockdown. What is the groundstone for the change? We are currently building our future on the top of a pyramid, but this does not work. It's a top of a waste pyramid. But it's even hard to keep a balance of ourselves on the top of a pyramid. How do we want to build up the future on it? This is the future introduced by waste industry, the third most profitable industry in the world. I recognized this risk 7 years ago and I started to create new stable groundstone. It's called 6R, not 3R. Firstly, we have to recognize that something must not become waste. And if we do so, we have to reconsider what to do with it. And then realize our step. Because we can change the world with our work. And this is what really matters. How does it look like? When I enter factories nowadays, I see these pictures. Even in factories which call themselves Factory 4.0, but we can make out of it Industry 5.0. Clean it up, make it tidy, harmonize production and consumption. How 6R works? You will see in this garbage bin, you will see a garbage or waste. In 6R, you will learn that this is not a garbage, it's a potential. And you reconsider what to do that, and if you are successful, you will find out that from something what someone called waste, the other people can call treasure, because it can hold their phones and mobiles and tablets and notebooks. Some people say single-use packaging should be used single time. Why? You generate a waste with unbroken product just after one and single use. Only because you don't see the potential. I see it. I load every 14 days 6 tons by my hands in a truck to save the cable coils. And new cables are put on it, or we made out of it furniture for school, kindergartens, and more. Which picture do you want better? Do you want your factory to be dirty or do you want it clean and safe at the same time on a waste management? The value of waste prevention has been estimated to $475 trillion a year, and it will grow every single year because we will learn more and more to get utilized too. It's 1,000 times more profitable than the global waste industry. And you can save up to 70% of your waste management cost by changing the approach. And you can, in one factory, you can save easily millions of dollars. Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man. It's changing the mindset of people and businesses from wasteful to wasteless. It's delivering the results without need of capital investment. And what is important, it can be applied on a small so as on a big scales up to the national levels or a global level. It's utilizing the existing, the on-the-ground mines, and it's based on 3 principles: transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. And please understand, Industry 5.0 is not a sales tool or a product. It's completely new global ecosystem which has been created and started its way back in 2015. We are living in the age of digitalization of our work. We are living in the year of digitalization of our education. And we are living in the time of digitalization of our leisure. So what is missing is only the man to be digitalized. But if we do so, our world will look like this. Because digital data don't need light. I recognized this risk and danger 7 years ago, and I started to build another world, wasteless world. The world without waste and wasting in all its forms. And it works. Everyone can prevent waste happen. Everyone can do it. Not waiting till 2030 or 2050. You can do it tomorrow. You can start today. And if you struggle on your way, please get in touch with me. I am on my way for 7 years. My name is Michael Rada. And the only title I use is human, because there is no other more valuable than that. I would like to thank you for your time. Thank you, and I wish you have a great day free of waste and wasting in all its forms. And stay safe.